Hey, how's it going? Today I was wanting to talk to you guys about MSI Afterburner and Riva Tuna Statistics Server. And one comes with the other. You can download Riva Tuner Statistics Server by itself, but it's not very useful unless you have MSI Afterburner or Open Hardware Monitor. Basically, it'll only be able to show you your frames per second by itself. If you don't have MSI Afterburner also. So we're not talking about overclocking on this video. I just wanted to show you guys how to get Riva Tuner set up so that you can show your stats while you're playing a game. Especially useful, you know, if you're doing YouTube videos or just for your own personal use. If you want to monitor your GPU or CPU temp, you know, while you're playing games, which is pretty important for some people. So anyways, you would go and download it, which I'll have a link in the description on where you can get it from. If you download the MSI Afterburner, it does come with the Riva Tuner, and it will not be this newest beta version. It'll be their latest stable version, which I believe was 6.6. It pretty much works with every game, whereas the beta is more geared toward, it's starting to work with DirectX 12 games now, and Vulkan games, whereas 6.6 I don't believe is working with DirectX 12 games or Vulkan games. So I kind of switch back and forth depending on what game I'm recording. Say Ghost Recon Wildlands, for example. I could not get the 7.00 beta 19 working on there, so I had to revert back to the 6.60 version, and then it worked. So anyways, what you would do is you download it, and then you're greeted with the MSI Afterburner after you install it. And never mind all this stuff. This is all for overclocking. You can just leave everything at default there and just go down to the settings button here at the bottom. Let me see something real quick, because I got a different interface than what you guys will probably see when you first download it. Yes. Okay, so yours is going to look like this when you first download it. And you know, it's just user preference, whatever you want to do. So instead of the settings button being down at the bottom, there's your setting button is going to be here. So you just click on this, and then you need to go to monitoring, and here will let you know everything that you can monitor on your computer, what your motherboard and your GPU and CPU allow to be monitored. So anything with a check mark by it is going to monitor in MSI Afterburner, but it's not going to show on your screen. So what you need to do is, like this one, the frame rate has a check mark next to it. You need to go down here to show in on-screen display. Now that'll show it, and they go in order. How they're displayed on your screen is how they're stacked up here. So if I put frame time up top, it's going to show the frame time first, and so on. So, you know, it's just a matter of what you guys want to, you know, what order you want them in. So now you can also group things together with your, say like you want your GPU, but instead of being just named generic GPU, you can go down here to the little check mark, tick that for override group name, and then name it whatever you want to. In this case, you know, the GTX 1080. Well, that's the temperature for it, but I also want you know, the core clock I want listed separately, and the mem clock, and then you can like put usage. I named it usage, and all these you have to have ticked for showing on-screen display. So you have your power. I believe I show the volts on mine, which would be down here. So okay, so in this group name I got GTX 1080, and up here I have the temperature as the GTX 1080. So let me see something here. Let's fire up a 3D app so you can see what it looks like. I'm just going to put it in a real small window and not full screen so you can see. Okay, so now you can see the stats are up there. And in that case, that's a very small window. So you would need to resize it, which you can do in Riva Tuner with this slider right here. So that'll make it that small. You can just resize it to whatever size you want to. But since I have that in that group name as the GTX 1080, it shows the degrees and the voltage both on that one line, because I had them both named in the same group. And then there you see where I had that one named as the core and the mem and then the usage. So that's how that works. Okay, now over here you also have an on-screen display tab, and you'll need to set you up a button assignment that toggles the on-screen display on or off, which can also be done over here in the actual Riva tuner. You can turn it off right there or on right there. And watch what you set it to, because like if you're using GeForce Experience, you know, with Shadow Play, then I usually have mine set to Alt F12, and it conflicted with Shadow Play because one of their button assignments is Alt F12. So you just want to make sure that you have it something different. In this case, I did Control Alt F12, and I'm pretty sure that's not assigned to anything else on my PC. So that's basically all you have to do. Just pick what you want, make sure there's a check mark next to it, make sure it is shown in the on-screen display, put everything in the order that you want it to show on there, and then you just click OK. And this will also monitor all your stuff down here. You can see the graphs here where it shows everything that it's monitoring. And then, like, if you wanted to change your skin over here, like I said, you can go to the user interface and you know, just whatever you like, whatever kind of look you like. So I like this one because it's a little bit bigger on the stats window. You can also detach this and move it where you want to. So if you are running a dual or, you know, triple monitor setup or whatever, you can slide it all the way over to the next monitor and just have it fill the complete screen with your stats while you're playing a game. So that's pretty nice too. And then you just hit the X there and it just attaches it again. Now over here, like I said, you can do this slider to do your size, you know, how big you want the stats to be. You can also click this button to pick the color that you want your lettering to be. Up here where it says Raster 3D, you click on this and you can pick your font, and you know, whether you want it bold or whatever. The on-screen display fill, you watch down here, you see that little dark shadow square right there, that turns that on or off. I like to have it on just to make sure it's easier for everybody to read the stats. It's transparent, it doesn't completely black out that square there, so you can still see behind it somewhat. And make sure you have on-screen display support on, which I'm pretty sure is on by default. You want to keep your application detection level at low, which is also default. Some games might require a stealth mode. You can hover over all this stuff and it'll tell you, you know, about the anti-cheat systems and things like that. Sometimes they'll block Riva Tuner for some reasons. And that's about it, guys. That's the rundown of it. So if you have any questions or need any help getting it set up, then just hit me up in the comments. Okay, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.